Hello, viewers, and welcome to the latest episode of the Huddle. I'm here with Korbi Carrison, G2E spokesperson, and a repeat guest. Korbi, great to see you again.
Tim, it's wonderful to see you too.
We bring news today. We're gonna be speaking about maybe you can tell us registrations at G2E.
Registration for G2E is now open. Yes, our event is taking place October 7th through 10th at the Venetian in Las Vegas once again. And we're really very pleased that here we are in late June and we're able to open registration, not only for the expo hall, which of course is a huge highlight of the event overall, but also for the education program. So bringing that to you before even the July holidays in the US, we think is really exciting so people can get ahead with their planning and get on with making hotel reservations and just their overall prep for the fall season.
Absolutely, that kind of level of planning for a show of this size is definitely a bonus. We're gonna talk a little bit about the show. Obviously, it's a few months away, so not everything is going to be set in stone just yet. But before we talk about this year, would love to reflect on last year on a successful show at G2E. Overall, what were your kind of biggest takeaways from the show from last year?
We get most of our big takeaways, honestly, from our post show surveys and from talking to people year round. So we know that the education content was very well received. And we start planning for this year's content at the end of last year.
Hmm.
So we look at what was well received as far as topics go, themes for education, and we do more of what was well accepted, less of the things that were not as well attended, and then we look at new topics. Certainly there are topics, for example, AI is definitely a buzzword that we've seen grow in popularity since the show last year. And that will definitely be represented at G2E this year. So we do a lot of planning of that nature. And that covers both of the areas of education and also the expo hall floor. There's so much innovation happening so quickly across the entire industry, and you will see those trends represented on the expo hall floor as well.
Hmm. Absolutely. You'd be remiss not to mention AI. Certainly, a lot of discussion on it at kind of events in America. But what was quite notable last year, and I think a lot of people I spoke to at G2E could really notice an increase in kind of iGaming, not just attendance, but panels and events on iGaming. Are we going to see more of that this year as well?
Definitely, we'll see more of that. We are expanding presence holistically at G2E in the iGaming realm. So you'll see more of that on the show floor. You'll see more of that in education. We are planning more meetups. So you'll be having more networking opportunities around iGaming and just a lot more people in general who are interested in that topic attending G2E. So that's a really important point. Don't miss out on the networking because you never know who you might meet. You never knew who you might be next to in the elevator. And that connection that you make at G2E in Las Vegas is one that you can't get anywhere else. It could make your entire business.
Absolutely, and I think it's a really fair point to say for G2E because the networking events in Las Vegas, obviously you can get good networking events around the world, but they're never quite the same as Las Vegas. Just had that has that individual sparkle, doesn't it?
It's true. It's really where the trends originate on the land-based casino, but there's so much networking that takes place and so many conversations around the entire global ecosystem that it just can't be missed. And it's truly a global event where there's something for everyone.
Hmm. There was a bit of a G2E rebrand last year as well. How do you kind of reflect on how that went?
We were thrilled with the rollout of our new brand at G2E 2023. We really believe that it really leveled up the look and the feel for the industry of what the event represents for the industry. So fresh, modern, forward thinking, all of those things are what we think the brand represents. And that's definitely where the industry is headed.
Hmm. Education sessions, a big part of of shows in general, but from my personal opinion, I think America does education really well. I think there's a lot of panels at G2E that are just better that some of the ones that we kind of see in and around Europe. But that's a personal opinion. But in terms of the plan this year, it's the second kind of annual call for content from you guys. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Certainly. We really learned a lot last year when we did our call for content. We had so many submissions that we had to do it again. We had so many great ideas from so many different stakeholders across the industry. We launched our call for content a little bit earlier this year. So many amazing ideas to review, and the disappointment that I have is that we can't include more. We have
Mhm.
a large conference program. We're approaching nearly 100 sessions that we'll be able to bring to the people attending G2E this year. It's a hard job to narrow it down, and we have a lot of people in our advisory board who put so much time into reviewing these ideas and helping us iterate on them. We really feel like we're bringing the best of the best to G2E in terms of education this
Mhm.
year, as we always do.
Does that make it a little bit more of a team effort almost? Because I think, even in my experience, I can have a good idea or two, but a room full of people mixing ideas always has a better outcome.
It is truly a team effort. It starts with the seed of an idea, and then we get feedback from industry experts. It sometimes takes on a whole new life. We iterate along with the people who submitted the ideas. We find the speakers and the moderators who are true experts in the areas, and it really elevates those topics and conversations to a different level.
Mm. And obviously, it might be a little bit early, but just to say that the keynote speeches have certainly gone down well the last couple of years, and I think even Jason Robbins and Amy Howe developing quite a good rapport on stage for the audience. Obviously not too many details yet, but I'm sure we can expect a similar kind of standard this year.
Well, as always, you can expect some really high-level keynote addresses by some very big names in the industry. So keep an eye out for that. There will be announcements coming, certainly in the next couple of months. But I can assure you that there are plans being made, and they are going to be bigger than ever.
Absolutely. I wanted to touch on some program themes with you. We've kind of mentioned some topics that will be kind of prevalent already. But in terms of the program themes you're looking for, can you tell us a little bit about those and maybe some that are standing out to you as well?
There are so many. I think we had 12 different themes that we were exploring for this year. Everything from tribal gaming to the future of gaming, which is very all encompassing, sports betting, iGaming, regulatory issues. It just runs the gamut. But where it really gets interesting is where you overlay different different subject matter within those themes. For example, we're always looking to raise the bar on what we deliver in DEI,
Hmm.
always looking to be inclusive and put topics out there that encourage inclusivity across many areas. So that's one area that you can overlay that on something like the future of gaming, and the conversation really becomes interesting. Same thing for AI, like I had mentioned, a lot of topics around AI this year. You overlay that in iGaming, sports betting, tribal gaming, and the conversations really get deep and very focused. So a lot of great conversations coming your way on that.
Yeah, definitely something to look forward to. Um, I think I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you perhaps one more question. Um, Is there anything in particular, one thing, if obviously we've talked about it a lot already, but if there's one thing you could highlight as the thing to look forward to at G2E this year, or maybe something you're personally really, a project you're really excited about, what would you single out?
It's a little early to go into the specific projects, but I will always come back to this as my favorite. The people at G2E always make it for me. It's not only the networking, but you never know who you might see in the hallway. Certainly, folks who have been in the industry for a while and made a lot of connections reconnecting at G2E and doing business there. People who are a little newer to the G2E ecosystem and to the gaming industry in general, those opportunities exist for everybody. You can so easily meet somebody who becomes a friend and a business associate immediately and can make a difference in your business for years to come. So that's definitely my favorite thing, the thing I look forward to the most.
Mhm. I think that's a great answer because we talked a lot about AI, but what everyone agrees on is that AI can do a lot of the data mining, a lot of the boring work, but ultimately it always does come back to people, which is what's great about our business.
That's true. There's no substitute for in-person connection.
Absolutely. Well, Corby, best of luck with the show, but I'm sure we'll be speaking again once or twice before the show. And thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Tim. Great to see you. And one thing I'd really just like to remind everyone is you can go to our website today, globalgamingexpo.com, get registered, check that off your to-do list, make your hotel reservations, and you will be one step closer to joining us in October.
Absolutely. From me to our viewers, thanks for watching and get registering.